So our recently exposed child predator, Good Citizen News Network, really didn't appreciate the artistic qualities of my previous video. And so he did what can only be called the most hypocritical thing that he could have possibly done and filed a privacy complaint on my video. Now, keep in mind, this is the scumbag that was attempting to extort money from people to remove their information and their images from his videos. Same guy. Now, I am very careful in my videos. I don't actually believe in doxing, even if I detest you, even if I think you are pawn scum. I don't believe in doxing. So I don't put addresses in my videos. I block out last names. I block out birthdays. I block out social security numbers. So I have appealed the privacy complaint. It is a 50-50 chance that it may come back at some time. But until then, what we are going to do is we are going to revisit that video with a little bit of extra censoring just to make sure that he can't file a privacy complaint on this one. I am, if nothing else, tenacious, and you are not going to get me to back down that easy. Now, another update that I do want to address, I actually have to give Liberty Troll credit for something that I'm actually kind of proud of him for doing. So this is one of those situations where you really have to give credit where credit is due to an extent. And what I mean by that is after I posted the video on my channel, Liberty Troll posted this as an update on his community tab. After further investigating the information shared by Lucid's Lair and DirectEast channels regarding Good Citizen News Network, I cannot continue to associate with the owner of that channel. I thank these other channels for putting this info out there for everyone to see. I wish I knew of this before, but knowing it now, I am walking away from any support or association with that channel or its owner. Prior videos and shorts containing GCNN's content have been removed from public view on my channel. And that's great. It's a step in the right direction, especially considering that community post will reach an audience that will never watch my content, but they will see it on Liberty Troll's channel. So that is a net positive. However, the one thing I want to say about this statement is I wish I knew of this before. Okay, so you could have. Zach, you could have. What it all comes down to is start to finish, once I decided that I was going to investigate this guy for the extortion thing, it took me maybe an hour from finding his name to looking up his records. This is not rocket science. I'm not even going to pretend it is. This is not something that just only I can do. This is something that pretty much anyone with a little bit of common sense and a little bit of technological know-how can do. This is not a secret. This is not a secret program that I run on people. This is just common sense. And looking at the stuff that they post, this information was out there. This is something that other people could have found if they had been interested enough. But the problem is, and what we see a lot in the auditor community, is we see blind faith. And faith may not even be the right word for it. It really is more along the lines of blind allegiance, although faith does fit in some ways. This tiny little corner of YouTube is very much an echo chamber, almost by textbook definition. You know, an echo chamber refers to a situation where people are surrounded by information and opinions that reinforce what they already believe. And we see this time and time again, and it's one of the reasons that every single auditor video regurgitates the exact same wrong information over and over and over and over again until it clouds any information that they may have right. They are overshadowed by all of the wrong. And the problem with blind allegiance is a lot of these guys like Liberty Troll give blind allegiance to anyone who shares that ideal. And what happens when you have all of this repetition of wrong information, you are just reinforcing the echo chamber at that point. I'm going to use prior restraint as an example here just because I just did a video on this very recently, but prior restraint is when the government attempts to or blocks you from publishing your story based on the content. Okay? The current auditor definition of prior restraint is if someone plays copyright music while you are recording, that is prior restraint. That is not just wrong, it's ridiculous in ways that it's hard to fathom, because if you have two brain cells to rub together, you would understand that that's stupid. That truly stupid in ways that it's hard to describe. Copyright music has absolutely nothing to do with prior restraint. you can still publish your video with copyright music in it. If you watched my video recently and listened to the entirety of Let It Go from the Frozen soundtrack, my video is still there. It has copyright music in it. The only thing anyone playing copyright music does is keeps you from monetizing your video. It does not keep you from publishing. That's just a lie. Anytime you have this kind of echo chamber environment where no one questions anyone or anything within it, as long as everything is conforming to the expected beliefs of the chamber, then you're going to run into situations like this where you have people who are actively supporting child predators and people who have committed some pretty heinous crimes. And anyone in the community who dares to speak out or have an idea that doesn't conform is almost immediately ostracized. So what I'm going to say to Liberty Troll is, yes, this was great that you withdrew your support, but you need to have a little bit more common sense. That's something you are severely lacking, Zach. You have no common sense. You know, you call people Karens because they want privacy and they don't want to be on your YouTube channel, and yet you yourself act like the biggest Karen in existence on every single one of your videos. A little bit of self-reflection would go a very long way, Zach. Hopefully you will learn from this, and hopefully NASA will be able to use the Hubble telescope to locate your hairline. Best wishes. All right, now we are going to get into the updated video. I would love if everyone could like, comment, subscribe if you are new here, but more importantly, share. Share, share, share. I want to get as many eyes on this asshole as humanly possible, especially since he is starting to shut down his social media. He has already taken his TikTok offline. I have heard from multiple other people that either they are blocked or he has shut his Facebook down. I haven't confirmed that yet. But I do know that he has taken his TikTok offline. So let's get the eyes he is so desperately trying to avoid on this dumpster fire of a human being. If you happen to be wondering as you watch the video why some of his images are blurred and others aren't, it is simply because anything that he posts to his own YouTube channel, he cannot file a privacy complaint on. So the unblurred images come directly from his channel. When I started the research for this video, I had every intention that this was going to be a semi-lighthearted video about extortion and about an idiot who puts his underwear on his own head to sniff his own crotch. I wish I was kidding. But where my research took me was a far, far darker place. Welcome back to my corner of the internet, guys. I am the Lucid Dream, and today we are going to be taking a look at Good Citizen News Network. Now, over the past couple of days, I have received multiple messages and emails about this particular channel. So in essence, what he is doing right now is he is extorting money from people in order for them to have him remove them from his videos, even though the YouTube privacy process is completely free and does that exact same thing. And if you look on his channel, it is filled with videos with him complaining about quote-unquote false privacy claims. This idiot goes above and beyond stupidity. This breaches realms that I did not think possible. So most of you know I can't stand bullies, but what I absolutely detest are scammers. With the passion of 1,000 suns, I despise scammers. There really is no way for me to accurately describe my hatred for these people. So when I went over to Good Citizen News Network's channel and I left what I thought was a fairly polite, for me, comment, letting him know that I was going to be reporting him to YouTube for extortion because not only is it a massive, massive terms of service violation because he is scamming people out of money to remove them from his video, it's wrong. Extortion is wrong. Bad. Bad person. And then who do I find simping for this idiot? Liberty Troll. You are not going to be surprised with what I tell you here in a little bit. It's going to make more sense. But Liberty Troll decided to simp for this idiot. And I am assuming it just birds of a feather. It does make sense considering Liberty Troll's previous history. But you know what? Maybe he doesn't know. You know what? I don't know. So when I got done with that idiot, I moved on to the Good Citizen News Network. I started looking at his opt-out options, his privacy service options, The basic blur is $50, face blurred wherever visible in the video, no name muting or edits to audio. Submit a timestamp of your appearance and screenshot for verification. Full obscurity, $150. Face blurred, name muted or removed from captions if stated in the video. You're excluded from thumbnails or titles, or total removal for $300. All scenes featuring you removed. May affect the overall video structure or timeline. Requests must be made before the video reaches 5,000 views. Price may increase for high traffic content. So, quick update that has happened since the original video was published. His opt-out page on his website is now gone. Whether he removed it intentionally because of the heat that he was receiving or he was made to remove it, I don't know. But it is gone. One thing I forgot to mention in the original video is that he wasn't just collecting money, he was collecting information. To file an opt-out request, you were required to give him your full name, address, and phone number. For what reason, I don't know, but he was collecting private information from people. Well, after this video, I am hoping that this absolute dumpster fire trash human being never has any high traffic content. Because welcome to the real Good Citizen News Network. So his first name is Scott, his middle name is Jack. We are going to be calling him Jack because all of the social media profiles that I was able to find that were not the Good Citizen News Network that date back a couple of years all go by Jack, and that looks like what people call him. So we're going to call him Jack. Now, Jack has a very, very long history, a pretty disturbing history with children. Now, you may not remember, but about a year ago, right after I started my channel, I did a video on this guy, and I haven't really thought about him since, but the interesting thing is I called this a year ago. Take a look at this video. Welcome back to my corner of the internet, guys. I am the Lucid Dream, and once again we have a frauditor who is intentionally trying to film children for personal use.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Good. Do you need help with anything?
Yeah, what's your name?
Alondra.
Alondra?
Yes.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Can I ask to why you're going around recording? It's only because there's children around. They aren't allowed to be recorded.
That's not true, but I'm not recording them. This is public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to speak to my director?
I don't need to speak to him. I got permission. Actually, I got written permission. It's right here. Bottom paragraph. Written permission.
Okay. Do you mind if I show this to my director?
I'll take it. I'm just showing you that.
Yeah, and can I ask to why you're going around recording again? Because
I'm just a member of the press.
Come and see you recording children. That's something that's a liability.
I would just tell them at that point, just be like, hey, listen, if you don't want your kids recorded in public, don't have them come here. Do you have cameras in there?
We do.
So you know I could file a public records request and get the footage from today, yesterday, any day I want? It's publicly accessible.
We can discuss it with my director.
Yeah, we've got another stupid one that watches too much YouTube. So first off, he is ignoring the fact that FOIA is a request. It is not a guarantee that you're going to receive that footage. Secondly, that footage is more than likely going to be redacted, the identity is protected, and the face is blurred. Third, that YouTube has a privacy policy for children, specifically where you are not allowed to post a child without parental consent. If you do it, your video can be removed and you can be given a community guidelines strike. Too many of those and that will remove your channel. Beyond that, the fact that frauditors continue to compare fixed security cameras, closed circuit security cameras that do not broadcast online to their videos is laughable. They really don't have the critical thinking skills to understand they are not even remotely the same thing. You're comparing apples to potatoes. They are not the same thing. When you enter a building, again, you give implied consent to be on that footage. Children cannot give consent at all, so when the parents bring their child to that community center, they are giving consent for them to be on that footage for security reasons. They are not giving consent to some asshole with a camera that wants to wander in and then put their child on YouTube. There is a difference.
I don't need to discuss it with him, but you can discuss it with whomever you need to, I guess. But
Yeah, of course.
I'm just
I always
like,
like to be on the same page, you know?
no, I'm just like looking around and stuff. He should know better though.
Sir, how can I help
What's your name?
you? Me?
Yeah.
Gene.
Gene?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Gene. What do you do here?
Huh?
What do you do here?
I'm the assistant director here.
Oh, okay. Assistant director, well, not really much. I don't need any help. I didn't call for you or anything.
Yeah. No, I know. I see you with the recording.
Yeah,
that's
I'm definitely taking some pictures and stuff.
Okay.
My plan is to like use your image, and I want to make $1 million. Can you give me like $1 million smile?
No, you're so funny.
Oh, but no, that's about it, man. Just looking around, seeing what you got in the public space. See, you guys got a lot of cool artwork and stuff. She was kind of under the impression that you couldn't record in there for some reason, but
Not with the kids in there.
you absolutely can. But
Unfortunately, not here. So we're a licensed facility, and you can't record any youth without consent.
what makes you say that? So I'll ask you the same question I asked her. Do you guys have cameras in there? Do you guys have cameras in there?
So that was him trying to record children in a community center a year ago. He also has videos of him trying to record in WIC and other instances of him trying to record children. Just like someone else we know. Like I said, birds of a feather. He simps for him for a reason. You have to wonder what it is. Now on to his actual charges throughout the years. There are things like him violating pretrial release conditions, touch or strike battery, contempt of court with violating an injunction or protection order for domestic violence, grand theft under $300, tampering with witnesses, aggravated child abuse, and then you have things like sexual assault by an 18-year-old or older sexual battery victim under the age of 12. Lewd or lascivious molestation with a victim under the age of 12. Another quick update since the video was published, Andre Sloan has done a little bit deeper dive into all of the charges over the past 3 decades from this asshole, and also identified Good Citizen News Network's victims as his little sister and his own children. Multiple counts. This is not a coincidence. I have said this I don't know how many times at this point. There is a very, very disproportionately high number of these people in the community that call themselves auditors, and you have to wonder why. And the worst part about it is you have to wonder about the people that continue to defend this kind of behavior because they think that they're standing up for rights. This guy isn't standing up for anybody's rights. And if you really think that, you need help. You need to be checked. It is entirely possible that there are other charges and convictions out there. This is just from Florida. If he has lived in any other state besides Florida, there may be more. We will have to wait and see. I will continue digging. At this point, though, we can definitively say he is 100% a felon convicted of crimes against children. I hate that I have to censor my language like that for YouTube's benefit, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about this guy, please feel free to send me an email. I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I will give you guys an update as soon as I have one. But until then, I will catch you on the next one.